everybody. Today we are here to talk about High Tension. This is the Devil's Work podcast. I am your host, PsydeShow, along with Evelyn and Skeptic.
What's up?
Say hi to the people.
Hello.
We are here to talk about some fucked up movies. I think all of us here have a very strong love for the macabre.
That's fact.
And we're going to be starting today with a French new wave film by the name of High Tension. It was also released in the UK as Switchblade Romance.
What?
Yeah. I know.
I feel like that's
a better name.
In some ways a better title.
A better name, yeah.
What's the French name? Is it just high? It's just High Tension and
it's like it's hot tension. It's
okay.
Hot tension.
Hot tension.
Haute couture.
We are
know.
not even 5 minutes in where we're gonna get canceled.
No one can
pronunciation. Like
no one can speak French. It's a lie.
And I'm gonna fuck up the director's name. Alexandre Aja. Alexandre. Fucking see.
I think it's Aja, but I don't know.
I think it's Aja. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, we'll start off by giving our general thoughts on this movie. We just watched this, last week, I want to say?
Yeah, very recently. It's fresh.
You saw it for the first time,
It's a fresh
Evelyn.
wound.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both of you have said this is like your first time watching the movie, right?
I saw it a long time ago.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
I've seen it once, like a long time ago. So like 20 or 30 minutes into the movie, I was like, oh yeah, I remember the twist here. But then as it kept going, I was like, I kind of fondly remembered this, but I'm noticing a lot of cracks.
I'm so glad that literally that was the one reason why I brought this up, was because I was like, I remember it when I first pitched the idea for the movie. I was like, this movie fucked me up.
Yeah.
Bad when I was a kid. And I was like, oh yeah, I was like 12.
It's
a little young.
It was like it was like perfect for us at that age.
Exactly.
Because I think we're about the same age.
Yeah.
But
I'm 28. Yeah.
Okay, I'm 31. I'm old.
I'm 33. I think I'm the oldest one.
Okay. Well, got for all those wondering.
Exactly. There we go. Right.
Get
cards on the table.
That's the hierarchy.
That's the hierarchy.
Well, I was the one who hadn't seen it, so
that's right. This is the
I'm filling in some gaps.
Yeah.
Well, for being like 15 or 16 when it came out, it's like perfect and like really edgy to be like I probably at the time thought that the twist was like really cool and interesting, and it has like some.
I'm 16 and this is deep.
Yeah, exactly. Like it does have some merit to it and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna I don't want to say that there's no merit to it, but you just notice more holes with an older brain, a more analytical mind.
Like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, it's a slasher film with a pretty chunky twist in it.
Yeah, I would think that's and we were kind of talking about it. It's like, does it hold up on rewatching? Maybe not as strong, but I still had a great time with it. Like, even for not having watched it in so long and knowing the twist, as it's happening, and because when we were watching, it was kind of like watching two different movies.
Yeah.
I was watching it knowing the the reveal, and then she was just kind of like.
But we're all enjoying the over the top fun.
Yeah.
Oh
violence.
yeah.
So
which is pretty much the point of any slasher film. But if you want to knock the synopsis out. Because we jumped right into it.
Yeah. My bad. I mean, again, because we want to give you enough of a teaser, the audience, that we're not giving too much away. We get you interested in the movie. So if you're at all interested in seeing a very bloody, fast-paced, I'd say very well-shot music video-like movie.
Yeah, it is very fast-paced for sure.
Yeah, extremely. Just a shot. If you want a shot of some fucking savage horror.
But I will say, even though it's fast-paced, it's well edited. Because I have seen a couple movies lately where I'm just like, all right, you are just smashing through all of this, and it's of varying quality.
It feels crammed. It feels like too much is trying to be said. Yeah,
So,
for
sure. The pacing feels fine. Maybe not like incredible, but like it's not bad in that regard.
Yeah.
Like the editing and pacing.
So if you're looking for a weird time tonight, maybe throw this one on. We found this one on Shudder as of this recording.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Shudder.
Yeah.
I love 'em.
No.
The American dubbed version.
Yeah,
American
that's exactly
dub.
what I was gonna say. No original French, but strangely enough, like a third of the film is still in French.
Is in French, exactly.
They just like got
some interesting decisions were made.
So fucking
they
weird,
get
bro.
they get tired of translating at some points. They're just like fuck
and
it.
it's like a sentence too.
I'm glad they gave up on that because dubbing makes me sad. Like I wish I knew what the actors sounded like.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so strange. But like, okay. Anyway, we'll give you that was our spoiler free section. Now we're gonna jump into it. So if you want, stop it here, come back, and enjoy the conversation. But essentially, we get started right in the fucking middle of the shit. It's Marie and Alex are best friends on their way to study at Alex's parents' house for the weekend, and hilarity ensues.
Hijinks.
This is in France.
This
right?
is in France. I want to say
in the countryside.
In the countryside, in the French countryside. So they're on their way to their parents' house for the weekend. They're like kind of it's the same song is kind of going on in this. Where we caught that is like the same song is like on repeat for like
they
hours.
One song.
Like it's hours. It's weird. Like it's like daytime and then it just shifts to where there's just at night and they're just bumping the same song. I was like, wow, that's one like short mixtape, bro.
They're poor college students. They can only afford one song.
Exactly.
One song, one car, one pair of shoes.
Exactly. So like we finally like the beginning is not really instrumental to it. It's just kind of introducing you to the characters.
I mean, that's a cliche opening to begin with. It sets you up. They do a good job of setting expectations in a bunch of ways. Like you've seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
These are your heroes. You're gonna be worried about them.
Yeah,
It's a slasher movie.
And we see our villain like really quickly too, within like the first couple minutes.
Yeah,
and
we do. And the very first note I have is, and little Joey aged 10 years that day.
Yeah, in a very gratuitous, very like very like you said, I'm 16 and I'm deep.
Well, for those wondering, he's fucking a head. He's fucking a severed head. We randomly show a truck in the middle of a field. And homeboys.
This is what happens in the countryside.
This is what happens in the French countryside in 2003.
You know what? I have I do have a couple notes that I want to point out really quick.
I love that we're spending so much time on the head fucking scene.
Let's talk about the severed head.
I wrote down. I totally forgot about this, but I wrote down the early days of fancy CGI intros intercut with footage. Bless them for trying.
Like I was saying, it's music videos.
Yeah.
Like it's literally all of it is styled like music video. It feels like a music video. Like even like the tinge to it. We were talking about like has like the
French color.
The French color, exactly.
Everything is like deep yellow, green, red, like
hard
extreme
reds.
Color.
Hard oranges. Hard yellows.
I wonder because maybe it's just because I had seen the movie before that it stuck out to me so much. But at the beginning, she like basically woke up and sat up in the back seat and was just like, "Whoa, you ever seen the movie that we're about to do?" Like,
so good. She's having a horror movie nightmare.
You ever seen them? That's fucking great.
I just dreamed that I was chasing myself through the woods.
Exactly.
And I was like chopping motherfuckers up. It was crazy.
Exactly. It's so funny. I was like, and then it was funny because like I was like, oh, they just gave away the fucking movie. Like that's so funny. Like
the theme of this movie is that Marie has a very active imagination.
Yeah. Oh, I would say.
You can fucking say that again. So we finally get to the parents' house and we see our heroes get settled in Heroes question mark. I don't know.
The family has just moved there recently.
The family has just moved there recently. You're right. I didn't catch that on the first watch either. Like,
yeah, I get the sense that maybe this is Alexia's first time home to her parents' new old house, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we live in the country now.
Yeah,
don't worry about the locals." And yeah, there's just like this crazy
it's the outsiders,
house.
Man. It's the outsiders you gotta wait. You gotta watch out for.
You gotta stay inside at night.
Exactly, and even then, dog. Like, fucking. So we get to the family. The niceties happen. We have a little bit of uncomfortable, like, peeping footage from the outside.
Yes.
She's smoking on a extremely well lit swing.
Yeah. she's like, she doesn't give a fuck. Like,
it is an incredibly, like, there's a spotlight on one seat of the swing. It's so good.
She's like watching her friend shower. Like, I dare you to look at me. Like,
there's no curtains that exist at all in the French countryside of this. Did they not get out there at this time?
Yeah, this part of the movie is very much like, look at this. Look at that.
I like
Are you paying attention?
Yeah,
and it's all the wrong things.
Setups. It's like misdirection.
Yeah, I like, man, I don't care how remote the house is. The way she's showering is definitely just like, wouldn't it be funny if someone saw this? Wouldn't it just be funny? Like, wouldn't that be weird?
That would be just so embarrassing.
That would be a crime.
And
so we get the perviness of her kind of starting to show a little bit.
And they have a lot of discussions about Alexia being kind of promiscuous.
Yeah.
At college,
they bring up she only likes boys with girlfriends. She says like guys with girlfriends are more like dependable or something like that. I
totally forgot about that.
And Marie is generally disapproving.
Yeah, she like very much comes across as that, like, sort of that virginal template of the
and that's what you're looking for. You're like, well, she's our main character.
Yeah,
and she's sort of a prude, and she's probably gonna be the final girl because she's like,
it's set up that way.
You know what?
She's like embarrassed.
I hadn't thought of this, but you saying that makes me think this, and it makes me think that I need to give the movie more credit. Not that I'm not giving it any credit, but more credit. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the concept of like a transgression in a horror film like this, where it's like in Friday the 13th, the kids drink and party and have sex instead of doing what they're supposed to, or
it's playing on those exactly,
or like you go into the house you're told not to, or whatever, you just do something that breaks the rule. But you would think the transgression would be her, because they're saying all these things about, like, teasing all these things about how promiscuous she is or whatever they want you to think, but the one who transgresses is Marie when she in the next scene.
Exactly what I was just about to bring up. Yeah, exactly, because you see her, like, it's like her desire and her lust is like
it like builds up, and she because it would almost be like in a thing like this where like the temptation is not the transgression, where it's like almost okay for her to have watched her, but then the next thing she does is the, like, taking the temptation and crossing the line, reading the book, going in the play. You know what I mean?
It's a really good read on that. Yeah.
But like I wasn't looking for a connection, so I didn't really see the connection. Her watching her friend shower just out of general curiosity, and then her laying down in her guest bed and masturbating. And just seems like she's such a prude that
just going to
this
town
is the only way that she can find release is, she does all her stuff solo.
Yeah, totally. And it is again a level I hadn't thought about. It is interesting to have that of like, I wouldn't dare, but then she does that, which I had written down, worst house guest ever. Just like
Exactly,
the headphones on. Like, make yourself at home does not mean this.
You don't know how loud you're getting.
Exactly, dude. Like, goddamn.
Masturbating to reggae.
It's the early 2000s. They just hear from down the fucking hallway. I saw the sign.
You gotta make yourself at home.
Oh my god! And
towels are in the closet. Oh, word.
Notes is it's like he shows up when she's horny, because that's literally when we have the fucking villain
that's
showing
when it kicks
up,
off.
driving in.
Yeah.
While she's just
exactly. It's that like supernatural. Like, shouldn't have did that.
Exactly. I was like, god damn, like. We're just literally ringing that bell, literally.
So
Satan's doorbell.
Our girl brings about her transgression of masturbating in someone else's house.
Yeah, exactly.
When our killer.
Yeah,
shows
exactly.
up.
That's like that. That's so interesting to like think about. But yeah, I mean that is the inciting incident essentially, and then we get right the fuck into it, bro. We have. Like what it's the entire family is slaughtered
in like minutes.
It's fucking crazy. But like we were even trying to like figure out the layout of the house, because it's
confusing.
Fucking strange. If you go back and watch it, it's like there's weird, like they go upstairs, but then there's like rooms that look like they're leading. Like she looks like she's on the second level.
She's on the top floor.
But she's on the top level by herself. It's like.
But it like when she's hiding, it seems like she's down the hall from some other rooms. It feels like it's all in a row.
I should say the first kill, right, we get off the bat is so fucking it's gory as shit. Homeboy pulls up the door, rings the bell, and I think that's what prompts her to like take off the headphones. And then she's like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on?" Stabs the dad in the neck. Was it with a fucking screwdriver or some shit? I don't even know. It was like some sharp.
It's like a box cutter or like one of those keys to like lift up sprinkler heads. Like he's like an angry groundskeeper.
Exactly. The worst nightmarish fucking
he's like, I've been
groundskeeper Willie.
I've been weed whacking for too long. Time to get my blade wet.
We gotta talk about this guy for a second.
Yeah.
He's a soundscape.
Fucking gross.
Yeah.
We don't see his face. He's like this big hulking guy, and he's like in this like leather like repairman uniform, and he like the leather creaks, and his
the leather, the sound of the leather is so fucking effective, and we've been talking about this a lot today. Was like the sound being so effective in a movie, just the fact that it like the leather when he's walking with each step is just like, oh, you just feel like fucking
you can
dirty.
hear him
like
breathing.
Yeah, you can feel that motherfucker breathing, bro. Like
he's
exactly.
He's like a fucking swamp walking around.
He's given a hell of a performance, honestly.
Yeah. He doesn't come across as like, he doesn't say anything.
And there's no line. Oh no.
Does
gas
he?
station.
Yeah. He has a few lines of dialogue.
But not as many.
He comes in silent and like
for sure
does away with this family in
just
very
fucking,
short order. But he's taking his time also. Like he's like very quick about it, but he's like, okay, everyone's dead on the first floor. Time to go to the second floor.
Yeah. Just the dad, like the finishing move on the dad was just such a unique, creative kill. And I'm like, bro, I have yet to see movies as visceral and like violent, quite with that type of like extra fuck you to it, like French movies have. The violence in French movies is so fucking tangible. Like she slices his throat, puts his head through the fucking staircase like panel, like the
banisters,
slams the fucking door and like D fucking next to
it's like
she just takes away an entire fucking head.
It's like a table or something, or like
it's like a dresser. It's like a fucking big ass heavy dresser.
Yeah, and just the whole everything just rips off.
That's another interesting piece that like kept rattling around my brain after we watched it.
Yeah.
He takes this dresser and he like shoves it and he pops the guy's head off with it. Like just slices his head off.
Lickety split, bro.
And meanwhile, upstairs, Marie is like, I gotta do something. And she's like, she finds a phone and she's trying to find a place to plug this phone in. And she's
whole,
like, I need a power socket.
Yeah.
And she can't move the dresser. So he's down there sliding the dresser across the room.
Yeah.
And she's upstairs,
up
like,
there
she
with
can't move this piece of furniture, like, more than an inch. And she's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Me, oh my.
Yeah.
You juxtapose these two things and you're like, okay. This is interesting.
Exactly. Like what I put right here too. The movie's very good about like playing with your expectations, like seeing you think you know where it's going, and it's like, nah, dog. Actually, wait.
This is where Marie really steps up as like a hero to root for, because she's like, he hasn't found me yet. I need to hide. And she's like, very quickly, she goes into this very like resourceful mode.
I wrote world record holder for cleaning a guest room.
Yeah.
The fucking
like,
towel, yeah.
She's like, she knows immediately it's going down. Something bad is happening in this house. I need to not be here. And she like disappears.
It's crazy how she is like in her panicked mode. She is like meticulous enough. Like she cleans out the inside of the sink of the faucet.
Yeah, she's actually
like,
kind of like,
yeah, like she does a bunch of like,
she makes the bed.
Yeah, like a bunch of like making the bed is like if that's like a, I don't know, like feels like it's sort of an obvious move. But then, like, all the other stuff that she does is just like, oh, Jesus. Like, I wouldn't, like she's so meticulous, and then...
The bathroom needs to be unoccupied.
Yep, and then so is he. Like, she's so meticulous, but then so... Like, he comes in, and he feels the radiator.
Yeah,
you know, and he touches in the faucet.
Chubby little fingers up in the faucet.
Yeah, this... You know what? I'm just realizing, but that man is built like a former president. He's just like, any votes in here?
Any votes?
He's gonna find him.
Oh my god, dude. So we have, so it's like the family thing is done fairly quick. It does you really forget how much of that movie is spent like on the run.
Yeah,
that's where we go. Like then it just actually. Yeah. Before we get that, we have, and I forgot, we should have mentioned some trigger warnings will include sexual assault in this particular movie.
It's very confusing because it's like very implied, but then also it's like unimplied later, and it's left very.
I personally do think it happened.
Yeah.
But it was one of those, again, that did like disassociation things that were.
Well, I don't know if we should talk about the twist now or if we should come back to all these things. I guess it makes sense if we're talking about spoilers to just talk about
you're just gonna you should have seen the movie by this point. If not, you fucked up.
Yeah. So the big twist is that Marie is this killer. So exactly. So when you are watching this for a second time, there are discrepancies, which is it's gonna happen in something like that. But there are also other discrepancies that, you know, like the power dynamic there that you pointed out. You know, like
I think they handled it pretty well.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah.
So not knowing the twist going into it, I thought maybe like I questioned a little bit, like, why are we spending so much time? Not that why are we spending so much time with Marie? Like, Marie's our hero. She's hiding from this killer, and maybe he knows something about this family, and he's not expecting her to be there. So, like, it makes sense that he's not finding her or looking for her.
Yeah.
But, what's taking her so long to do certain things?
Yeah.
Is because she's doing she's the killer, and she's doing all these things to the family, and meanwhile, she's imagining herself hiding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
Like I
she's
put it
like-
as like she was almost like in real time trying to justify her actions by like making I had to do this because
She made
Yeah,
up this
she
alternate
she made up this whole
version.
fantasy
in,
thing
in like a
exactly.
fugue
Yeah.
state or like dissociating, like
Yeah.
totally.
Exactly.
We're like, yeah, she never went back in that room because she had to be doing these other things of like, yeah, where she like the mother gets slashed across the face and
that was fucking
and
gory,
it seems
dude.
like she's dead, but then she crawls into her room.
That was fucked up.
But
yeah.
Marie's like looking for another phone at that point, and she's because I think she gets behind that one dresser, and it's a TV line. It's not a it's not a phone
so
line.
she can't
Phone
make
line,
the
yeah.
call.
Yeah, and she gets really bummed, and I'm like, hey, take that phone. It's a nice weapon. But
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
that was one of the things I was like, why didn't she
yeah, that would suck.
hang on to that?
Shit looks hefty.
That would suck to catch in the back of the head. Like
Yeah. Oh,
that'll catch
About
you.
as bad as that fucking nail bat to the face,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
That shit is rough, dog.
So
So she's like hiding in the closet.
yeah, and she watches the mother get like her throat slit, and I think her head cut all the way off.
Yeah.
Cause
And
Oh
and
yeah,
this
it
woman
does
is
get
being,
severed. Yeah.
Yeah, this woman is like she's having her throat cut and she's looking into Alexia's eyes.
That's
or
right.
Marie's
yeah. Well,
eyes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which-
Marie is hiding and they're like looking into each other's eyes and you're like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense. But
yeah, in hindsight, that is like pretty poignant to
What's
be,
going
to
on?
be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, obviously she's literally like she knows she's there, which doesn't
Exactly.
which, has one connotation the first time around, and then seems
Exactly.
seems a little.
See, that's what I'm saying.
There's
layers.
there's more credit to be had here
Exactly. I was
than to just say
'cause
that it
initially
doesn't make sense.
I know initially when you watched it, you messaged me. You're like, oh, like the twist kind of like undermines the movie for me, and I was like, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see where you went on this journey looking, expecting one thing, and it's like you didn't exactly get that, but you got something that was like a deeper thinker. You know what I mean? You're just like, huh. Wait, well then how would she actually have pulled that off? Like in the gas station, I was like, wait, how the fuck did she know the guy before? You know what I mean? Kind of jumping ahead of ourselves, but
So she's dispatching with this family.
What
and
happens to the son?
he runs outside.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
he
Yeah,
gets,
yeah, that's
he,
the last one.
He
That's
gets
fucked
he
up,
gets
bro.
sniped. He runs to the cornfield and he gets sniped.
sniped.
Yeah,
He gets shot in the
yeah,
cornfield.
and that was another thing where we're like, oh, okay, so she dissociates, having to go watches from the top window, but that was actually her down there with the fucking shotgun. Like,
yeah.
and the
damn,
like
dude, she
they
murders
deal,
that child.
they deal with this very smartly. Like it's just Marie hiding from the killer, and her friend Alexia is the only one left alive, and the killer is gonna take Alexia away in his truck, and he's tied her up and he's chained her up and put a gag in her mouth.
Yeah. Oh.
And Marie is like, I'll get you out of here, and Alexia's like,
Her face, like, what the
like she
fuck?
can't say anything,
I
but
wrote
she looks horrified.
I wrote a note because she encounters Alex in the house at some point. I think after the phone doesn't work, she runs in and she finds Alex and she's all chained up and everything, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna figure it out. Don't worry." And like then
I have to hide or he'll find me.
yeah,
Exactly, yeah,
and
yeah.
then at one point she goes, "If he wanted to kill you, he would have already done it." I was like, "Oh wow, thanks."
And
Yeah.
Alex is like, huh?
Exactly, like what in the actual
But
fuck?
it works very well because she's just, she's crying and she can't talk and her whole family's dead. So
Yeah.
like, well, it makes sense.
Absolutely,
She's
yeah,
inconsolable.
just in shock
Yeah.
right now, like watching her fucking friend murder her entire family. The worst house guest ever.
Yeah, exactly. and then she follows them into the van, and when she's in the back of the van with her, she goes, "Stay quiet, Alex." And I was like, God, you're like read the fucking room. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I have a fucking like horse bit in my mouth. Like, don't.
She's like, you'll get us both killed.
Yeah, he's
So Yeah.
Okay, so
we still think she's like this amazing action hero
exactly,
at this point.
yeah.
The killer
She tries to lockpick the back of the van with a fucking kitchen knife.
Oh yeah. So we're at the point where she's been taken in the back of the van.
We've left the farmhouse.
We've left the farmhouse.
Everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead.
Oh, there's an interesting moment at the farmhouse.
Which
where
one?
the killer, like, we're still doing the thing where he goes back in the house and you don't know why.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, this is her opportunity to sneak out and sneak into the truck with Alex and try to like save her friend. And she's like, here's a knife. It'll be fine. I'm coming with you. I won't let him do anything to you. And the killer goes back into the house and he goes over to the like area in the living room where the family photos are. And he like presses his thumb and like cracks the glass on this family photo. And he cuts Alex out of this picture as a little souvenir of like, oh yeah, like all the other women I've killed. And there's this shot where there's this mirror on the wall that has like a kind of a golden picture frame around it. And it's like, you can see him reflected in this mirror and all these photos. And it's like, he's done this awful thing to this family and he's like, thus made himself part of the family. He's like a picture on the wall with the family pictures now. It's like, I'm part of the family now.
That's a really
bitches.
Good read of that. Yeah, I didn't catch that at the first. I was like, oh,
there's no walking back anything that he's done to them. He's like part of their lives now.
Ooh, yeah. That's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
I was like, oh damn, with the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he takes it back and adds it to his little collection too.
Yeah.
With the other women.
Which I gotta say, like, okay, there's all this, back and forth in terms of like what is metaphor and what is unreliable narrator, but like she has never been here.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did this van and all these murder tools come from?
We literally
were talking about the van.
We just had this conversation today.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna let you take this one. Go. You had a great fucking read of this one.
Well, was it like Roger Ebert Roper, whoever the fuck was like, This movie has a plot hole big enough to drive a truck through it, and that's exactly what the plot hole is.
Yeah.
It's like, where the fuck did this truck come from? But like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like, she either found a truck on this farm and she,
which I
threw her friend in the back of it.
I subscribe to that theory.
Or she imagined the truck, because there are parts of this movie where she's in another car and she's following this truck, and she's obviously not in two places at once.
Yeah,
but like, it's all part of the rich tapestry of her imagination.
And she wrecks the car, but then she couldn't have wrecked the car because she was driving the van. But then she sustains injuries from the wreck that she holds on to through the end of the film that she couldn't have.
It's a little mix.
I think, I think, again, you have to kind of suspend your disbelief for a little bit for a lot for this movie.
But she's also
I'm a guy named Skeptic.
So go fuck yourself.
So,
this is my solemn duty.
Yeah, this is my calling. This is.
It's definitely worth. Like, anything that is a plot hole is worth testing.
Yeah.
But and it doesn't completely work, but it doesn't not work.
It doesn't take me out of it either.
Yeah, there is some kind of a vehicle that she used to. I mean, it might have been the little red car that they came in, for all we know. Because like is
it red or yellow? Oh no, the yellow one was the one she stole later on.
Yeah, she ends up with a yellow car that she stole, but they came in this little red hatchback. Or whatever.
That's right.
But like the truck is very cinematically, like, the truck matches the killer. He's like this grody.
They drove out of a swamp.
Yeah, and this truck is like this vintage, nasty, rusty, creepy truck.
Jeepers Creepers looking shit.
Yeah, be eating you.
Yeah,
eating you, exactly.
This is a truck that
which
has
I looked
in
it
the
up
back
because
of it. Absolutely.
I was curious. So I was like, oh, did this influence Jeepers Creepers, or was it the other way around? I think Jeepers Creepers came out like a year after. I think it was a year after. So it was just interesting to see like the influence there. But yeah, I mean, big creepy trucks is definitely, it's an effective trope. It's an effective vehicle because it's just like that vehicle strikes fear in your fucking heart when you see it.
As it should.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's like a visual like theme to this killer that she's made up in her mind.
A lot of browns.
Yeah, a lot of nasty leather. He's got dirty fingernails.
You're allowed to say that, Joey. You're allowed to say that.
Okay, first episode, we're getting canceled, baby.
a lot of browns.
You can't see at first anything about him. You're like, what is he? What does he do
He's
for
just
a living?
presence.
Is he
exactly.
a janitor? What the fuck is this? Why does he have this uniform? And then you like see a little more.
Master
and I feel like
of the custodial arts.
Master of the custodial.
Yeah. And you notice later, like, there's this logo on his back, and then there's the logo on the van, and it's just like this little yellow face. And I don't read French, so I don't know what it says, but it probably says plumber.
Yeah.
And he's got a little keychain.
Yeah, I want the keychain, bro.
That is his,
I want that
logo.
keychain so bad. That shit looks so cool.
And yeah, there's like this theme that she's made for like, this is how she sees herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, girl, like, go to therapy.
I'm a disgusting.
They try to make me go
killer.
to rehab, but I killed my friend's whole fam.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's her whole vibe.
so we have the kidnapping scene. Definitely, she comes back and like, was it Marie's in the back, right? Like she's about to stab him, and then like he comes in, and she just fucking.
Yeah, she's gonna save the
She's
day.
gonna save the day, bro.
I'll save you
there.
from
She's
this
like,
killer.
I got you, Alex. Fucking, he comes in and before he even looks in the back, she's ready to like, knife in hand, ready to strike.
She's gonna stab him in the face.
Okay, he comes in, slams that door on her face. Like, get the fuck out of here. So she's
like trying to confront him, but she can't seem to.
Yeah. She's always like just out of reach.
And they do kind of plant the seeds a couple times of like, sort of him glancing in her direction after she did a thing where she thinks she's like really sneaky, like on her way to the van, of just this sort of like almost of him like thinking like, is there another person in this house? Like,
exactly.
And that's where I thought we were going with when he goes over to the picture, because like on their way to the farmhouse, she's like, oh yeah, Marie, you're part of the family. Like, you're in one of our family photos.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And then you're like, okay, so he's going to collect this girl that he's chosen, and he's going to go back, and he's going to see her in a photo, and he's going to be like, there's another girl in
I
here.
must have been thinking
But that didn't happen at all.
Yeah, I must have been thinking something similar when I first saw it. But again, I was just so, like, stupid and, just, like, watching it, like, oh, what's going to happen? Like,
you were enjoying the film.
I was enjoying the film, exactly. Like, yeah, like, but I feel like I like, that's what makes it, because I asked her, I was like, what, was the twist effective from your outside point of view watching it for the first time? Because I was like, you were the one with the least experience here because we've both seen it. And then you made the good point of like, it was effective because I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
like I
it
couldn't
wasn't
actually
the twist that I was looking for at
absolutely
all.
Absolutely. So
yeah,
I get that.
But it's all in there.
Exactly. Like everything is up in front.
But I do feel like though, I think I might have made this point earlier when the three of us were talking. Like there's a scene in Frozen where the guy, the bad guy who you think is a good guy is by himself, completely alone. And if it weren't for the fact that this is like a scene in a film meant to endear you to him, so that later when there's like a twist, you're like oh no. But it's like in real life, like if you're running the long con and you get 5 minutes to yourself, you're gonna be like, oh thank God, like
take off that mask. Yeah, like, Jesus Christ.
Like, I'm gonna have me a smoke. But the face fucking scene, which I forgot to mention, I had a note that said talk about Roadhead.
Oh my God! Don't expect more of that comedy on here.
But that's it's kind of unfair because it's just like
Yeah.
I like as like it was an idea they had that was shocking, and I feel like that was the main impetus for putting it in. Was like that'll be the big scene that like people will tell their friends, like, bro, this dude like fucks ahead. It's crazy.
It literally was. It was the first thing I fucking mentioned when I talked about the movie. Like,
this is like her freestyling in her he's over there and the girls are over here, and this is supposed to establish really throw you off the track.
It's supposed to just be like there's something dark here already, but she's the thing that comes, but at the same time, like, I feel like pacing wise it would have been totally fine to just have this guy show up.
I think that would have been stronger.
For sure. Like, because it's just such a shock to the system when he comes, but it's not as much because you're like, oh, I already know he's trouble. You know what I mean? Like, but if I had seen that motherfucker just pop in, that's some terrifying shit for sure. I think that's it.
It just feels a little
the Roadhead scene feels like it's a
like
little
the
bit.
idea that he's just killed someone else.
She
hasn't just killed someone else. I don't know. I would prefer to think of Marie as someone who's like, and it might be even true, she's never killed anyone before.
And if
this is her snapping,
and if she had, it would have been someone else that she was as obsessed with, and I just don't think that like there's enough life in a like early 20s girl to have like really gone through that cycle that many times without like, if it was unless it was conscious. If it was like a planned thing, it could make more sense. But in terms of this whole like, I've had a lifelong infatuation with you and I don't know how to express this, and like maybe I'm in love with you, maybe I just like feel like I'm losing you to all these things that you're doing that I don't agree with.
Kill?
Just this weird push pull of like, what is the nature of the love that she has for her, and it's sort of irrelevant. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. Even with that weird peeping scene, it still is. Is it just does she just feel like she owns her because they've been friends forever? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I think it's just the infatuation. It feels like the infatuation is like taking over, kind of like more heavier and heavier. In her mind as the movie goes on. But
every time they talk about the boys that Alex has been with, Marie is just like, I can't believe you would do that.
Yeah, she's very like disapproving and like, I can't believe you're so loose with men. Or like it's so funny that like terminology.
Alex, what of your dowry?
I hope you're saving yourself for me.
Exactly. Yeah, but like I do like the sort of red herring about like the gas station clerk.
The gas station sequence.
The gas station sequence was wild. I thought it was pretty
cool.
It was very cool. Like
the tension of her being like, do I have time to do this as the gas is pumping? Yeah.
She has like 20 seconds to sneak out of the back of the truck and run.
No shoes. No shoes. This is
She's
all no shoes.
That's what I told you. They're those kind of friends.
This girl is my hero. She's gonna save her friend. She's got no shoes, but she doesn't care. She's gonna like run to the gas station without getting seen, and she's gonna call 911.
The idea though of this woman like drove up in this van and parked, got out, put the pump in, and then dropped down to like a solid snake stance and just started running across the parking lot. and then
just fucking gunned it. Yeah.
I want to reshoot this movie straight as it actually is.
and then runs up to the clerk and like says a bunch of like basically unintelligible things because she's so hopped up, and then glances out the window at no one, runs to the frozen food section and starts hiding, and then just calmly walks up to the counter and is like, "Hey, Bobby, what about those bitches, Bobby? You gotta fuck 'em, Bobby." Like,
those local ladies, those older ladies.
Yeah, that's right.
And Bobby's like, do I know you?
I bet you fuck all the older ladies all the time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dog, I guess.
That dude, you had mentioned before that he's like a soundboard unto himself, but he really is just like lip smacking fucking like.
He's damp.
He's damp.
He's a moist boy.
He's a moist boy.
You got any moist towelettes, Bobby?
He's just generally humid.
His
generally humid.
His fucking murder was brutal. I like that one a lot. That was a fucking that was the shotgun, right?
Who?
To the gas station clerk, was it the shotgun?
No.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, his was the fucking bat. That's right.
Yeah, he like tells him to grab something for some liquor.
He's like, "Can you get me some whiskey?" And
then
the gas station guy, who's nervous,
nervous,
understandably,
he's a little on edge.
Okay, I'm gonna put my whole back to the store now.
Yeah.
And then
that guy.
She hits him with an axe.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's like right.
She gets an axe from like the gas station.
Yeah, either like in the chest as he turns around, or I think it's in the chest as he turns around. Yeah, and he just crumples. Understandably, I'm not criticizing the man.
I'm not criticizing you.
Yeah, and that's how the twist is revealed.
Yeah, later on, it's afterwards.
Later on,
the security footage is the first thing that they do. That's literally how they reveal the twist. But after that, like after the murder, we have like this long scene of just slow chase
in the bathroom, hiding in the bathroom.
Oh, was that the bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm getting
because she goes.
She runs to hide in the bathroom.
Yeah,
and there's all these stalls.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting confused. I forgot. My apologies.
It's kind of like I don't know that part needs to be in there. That seems like filler to me.
Yeah, exactly.
He checks every.
Well, if you want to talk about filler, you want to talk about filler is the scene that comes right after that when she has to go and like fucking chase them down because he drives off after not finding her in the stalls.
I feel like that part moves okay.
And she, the one thing we forgot to mention is she gets the gun from the clerk. The clerk checks the gun at one point while talking to him, but then he's like, "I want whiskey," and he's like, "Oh, he's an alcoholic. They've never harmed anybody." And
that's fine.
And drops his guard. And then my note here said, "Ho ho ho! Now she has a gun."
That's so good. Yeah, no, I mean, but like the scene, the chase scene, the fucking low speed chase scene was very drawn. I felt like that one went on for a little bit too long. I love Muse. And I love the song that they played for sure. But even then, it felt like they played the whole song. I'm like, all right, we can cut a little bit. Like
musical
it's just
interlude.
It's just them driving. Like it's just them. Like she's not very.
She's chasing in the gas station attendant's car.
That's what it was. Yeah, she takes off in his car.
I'm not like 100% sure, but I think if a song in a soundtrack says like courtesy of, it means that they allowed them to use the song without
it just became the theme song.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if it said that and Muse literally like someone just knew a member of Muse and they were like, you can just use this song, and they were just like, that's the big get. That's the big get.
Exactly. You know, like you like violence? You like Muse?
Yeah.
Buy the album.
Have we got a fucking movie for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, but. So, I mean, like, that scene was kind of like whatever, but it does lead to, I mean, the fucking greenhouse scene was fantastic.
Oh.
I personally love the greenhouse
in the
scene.
chase, though, I must say, the pouring liquor on her and how it, like, sort of, because he, like, pours liquor back through the grate on
Alex.
onto Alex. And it's like dripping down and everything, and she's, like, coughing a little.
It's going in her mouth.
Yeah, and then he starts playing with the match.
That was great. Okay, I forgot about that.
He's like gonna set her
dangling
on fire.
the match. I was like, dude, that's a great fucking tool. Like, it's such an effective
and she's like, oh my god. And then he's like, just kidding.
Yeah, he just throws the shit out like, Jesus.
And then she pulls the gun out to get ready to like shoot at him while driving, and then
from the other car.
Yeah, because she steals the clerk's car. I'm not sure. I think we might have.
Oh, yeah, we mentioned
Okay, yeah, because she steals his car and his gun. And then he reveals, he like opens his hand and drops all the bullets and starts like laughing. And then it shows her just being like, "Oh,
right. That was such a great reveal." Yeah, that was such a great reveal.
And then he somehow gets behind
That's right. Okay,
her.
I didn't give that. I guess I kind of tuned out in that point. I was like, "Fuck!" I
forgot about that
because it's such a long scene of so much like shots of just driving and shit. So you kind of forget there is a lot going on.
She's chasing him,
and
then she's like, "Where did he go?"
He
and
loses
then,
her.
Then the truck is behind her, and he's like ramming.
And then
car.
he fucking drops the bullets. Yeah, that's what he shows her the bullets, and then he rams the car. Yeah.
Then
which is all of this is just her driving around for 4 hours, and Alex being like, "What are we doing?"
She hit a.
Are we there yet? Like, please just end this nightmare.
So we do finally get to the greenhouse.
The battle to the death in the grow up.
Dude, that is that fucking makeup when the fucking bat hits his face and just like peels off. I'm like, bro, this shit is foul, bro.
It's pretty gnarly too. Like just the idea of like I don't know, just the concept of like there's all the like loose plastic and everything, like just this ready-made body wrap of just like smacking him in the head, and then he just falls and wraps up in plastic, and she's just like, cool. Is there a hole over here?
She gets hit, right? She runs her off the road or some shit, and then she runs into the green.
Yeah, they have a straight up. Yeah, her car flips.
Yeah, she gets fucked up.
Yeah, she runs to hide in these greenhouses
and finds a fucking the like
it's like a fence post.
Like a fence post that she just wraps barbed wire around. I'm like, it's such a
and he's got a flashlight, and he's looking for he's got a flashlight, so you know where he is.
Yeah.
But
which I gotta say, actually, like this whole like back and forth on like how strong she actually is, because I saw people online being like, "There's no way she could have pushed that dresser," and then Evelyn pointing out that like, you know, as we're showing how strong he is, we're showing not necessarily how weak, but just that she's not as strong.
The juxtaposition of her strength as opposed to his.
But then when she's wrapping up the thing at the end, she just rips barbed wire and it snaps. Like
she had a night.
She
had herself a night, bro.
That because I was like pretty impressed with that. I was like, I don't know if wrapping it gives you the leverage to do that, but like, goddamn.
Yeah,
I mean, I never would have fucking thought about that. I just went to town on him with that.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be, you know, she's finally dealing with him. She's just sick of his
the
shenanigans.
Confronting of the demons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like, we're gonna have it out in this greenhouse.
Yeah, so
and he like gets the drop on her, and they're having this. Right. They're just like
a struggle ensues, and then
he is like a super creep at her. He's got like a switchblade, and he's like checking out her piercings.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's all knocked out. That's right.
Yeah.
I see that you're gay.
I'm something of a gay myself.
I'm like, I mean. I wasn't paying attention in 2003. Maybe this is what this means.
I guess too, though, that like a large part of the whole like transgression model is like not necessarily that the filmmakers are harboring those views, but it's almost like the supernatural forces are very conservative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of
true.
like, oh, you did a gay wank at your friend's house? Everybody's gotta die.
We fucking talked about. We literally said this. Like, it feels like the whole movie is her trying to outrun her gay thoughts.
Yeah,
like, that's what it feels like. Like, this is just one big metaphor.
We need to make some memes to accompany every episode, and we should definitely have just a picture of her and the guy fighting, and just Marie, her gay thoughts.
Exactly.
I think this is the thing about this film that, you know, in the reviews that I've read that they haven't aged well. This is like this is not necessarily what the filmmakers believe. They just thought this would be a really cool twist that's really like unpredictable, which it is.
Storytelling tool, like, essentially.
The stacked thing of like she's gay and she's also she's very mentally ill.
Yeah,
And these both
severely,
being like viewed as like
and
bad things.
and DID just being such a like complicated thing in general of like
we don't know it.
Yeah.
Like, we barely understand the human brain as it is.
Yeah,
like, psychology is still
it's
like
such a new
younger
science for
practice.
sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, this whole infatuation that media had
It's
for such a
gone
long
way
time
too
of
far.
one of them's a serial killer and one of them is like a child and one of them and it's just like it's I don't think
Exactly.
it's often like that, but I'm not an authority, but that's also why I don't make a movie where that's the centerpiece. But
exactly. I mean, it is interesting to see the kind of the conclusion where it's like that we see the two. We finally see the molding of the two personalities. Like,
through
in the end,
through Marie's eyes of like, or through Alex's eyes. Excuse me.
Through Alex's eyes, yeah.
Because when she finally dispatches this killer, and you're like, oh, they made it. The two girls made it, and then she drives her friend out to the woods, and she takes Alex's gag off.
And then
she's like, I saved you.
Finally.
And Alex
it's the
is
way
like,
she pops up too. She's like, hi.
She's so excited. She's like, I did it. I killed him. And she's like,
I did a murder.
Exactly. I did a murder.
She's so proud of herself. And you're like, this doesn't.
So true.
Yeah, and that's like one of the, like, because.
Yeah, that's part that makes it even more scary.
The movie does a good job of, for the most part, of covering its tracks.
Yeah.
And then she's doing this weird thing. She saves her friend and she's really happy. And you're like, she just went through a lot of horrible shit. And she's like giggling. And she's like, I saved you, Alex. And Alex is finally able to speak. And she's like, you killed my whole fucking family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong
And
with
that's while that is being revealed at the same time, the police have made it to the gas station and they're reviewing the footage, and it's Marie killing the gas station attendant.
I feel like similarly to earlier when we were talking about they should have cut that scene. I feel like they should have cut the security footage, and we should have just seen Alex be like, "What the fuck? You killed everybody!" And then how it goes on where she literally just the camera go, the cowboy switch, it goes back and comes to her again, and it was her, and now she's the guy, and she's hunting him down. And when we see that, see the shots that are from her perspective, she's him now. But then when we see the shots from Alex's perspective, it's just her homie holding a cement saw, just like, whoa, what's going on? Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like, why are you running?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
And then that just R.I.P. to the poorly timed driving through the woods, man.
Dude, that fucking
the driver who tried to
he got a fucking chainsaw to the face, dog. That's a horrible. And he had time to move.
Yeah.
Like he had time to move. That's fucked up.
He's alive for a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had time to move. This is to make it more fucked up. I'm like, bro, you're just gonna sit to like.
This is what happens when you pick up bloody girls on the side of the road, being like, "Help me!" Just don't do it.
I would,
I would,
because you will die.
I would say actually, like the funniest but also scariest part of this whole movie is here when she's like just completely tearing this dude apart with a cement saw, which is just huge. It's like it's like a 3 foot wide saw blade. That's
the cover.
It's a cement saw.
The cover of the movie.
Yeah,
it's the actual poster.
Yeah, and that like just absolutely
it works. It's so effective.
Absolutely devastating this man, and then Alex is just like starts having a screaming fit, and she like can't like just she's just so beyond at that point, and then Marie, I think as the guy, just shoves her face like into the hole of the window, and then just goes bah, 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 and mocks her for screaming, and I laughed, but I was also like terrified. I was like,
this is horrifying.
Yeah, it's actually
it
really
gives you
scary.
a little taste of like at that point,
it
like
goes
you
full
know the
Texas
twist,
Chainsaw.
so
at
it
the
just
end.
like,
yeah, it totally does.
gives you a taste of like what Alex has been putting up with.
Yeah, exactly.
And
just seeing the fucking
my insane friend.
and then she gets out of the car and she has the shard of the window in her like Achilles. So
that's right.
So she's like crawling.
Oh god.
And I think she uses that to finally kill her, or to
She has a crowbar.
Oh, it's a crowbar. Okay,
Yeah,
she
crowbar.
gets the crowbar, and then she
ass
just
up.
sticks it right through her and impales her.
Yeah.
And then she just, like she is at the beginning of the movie, the whole like, they'll never tear us apart, they'll never tear us apart.
Yeah, the never tear us apart, the never tear us apart. Exactly.
Yeah, and
all right, looks like we're gonna be running out of time, but we're gonna like try and wrap up the story section because I want to get to a little segment that you had.
We have
in
to
mind.
talk about our feelings.
We have to talk about our feelings about this. How did overall? How do we feel?
I feel like talking about it made me like it a lot more.
Yeah.
I would say I was thinking like 2.5, 3 out of 5 before, because I was like, it's just so illogical. Like the twist really does like break a lot of things, but honestly, having found more valid metaphors like hidden in it as we've continued to talk makes me like it more. Because when you just go things are metaphor and unreliable narrator, it's like okay, but you're not elaborating. But I think like Evelyn brought up a lot of points that like kind of made my brain turn that little rotation necessary to be like, wow, this is like these little sort of poetic rhyming moments throughout the film.
There are little things in there that are put in there with love, I think.
Yeah, it's handled with care for sure, and I think that's like what you said is definitely like what we're trying to go for on this show. We're trying to give people like maybe who might have seen it like we did another kind of like another take on it, another different opinion on it. You know, maybe go watch it again,
I would say maybe like 4 out of 5. You know, three and a half, 4 out of 5. You know.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I see because of like when I first saw it and like the relevance that it had and like the things that it kicked off too, because we're gonna be covering, this is the first of many French films we'll be covering, but the fact that it kicked off this whole movement of like thinking like psychological fucked up gory movies, the new French Extremity, the fact that it kicked that off and was like on the edge of that, in the forefront of that, I feel like this movie is very worthy of higher praise. So I say 4 out of 5 just because of the conversation we've been able to have.
We were talking about how this movie walked so martyrs could run.
Absolutely. Motherfucking-lutely.
And I think something that I hold on to in terms of things like that when you're talking about like the progenitors of an art form is like, you know, look at the people who invented whatever you could call the first like modern guitar, and then look at a 9-year-old on YouTube. You know, where it's just like, where it's like, yes, you invented this thing and you deserve your respect, but at the end of the day, it's more about your impact and your legacy than it is about like how actually good you were. Because it's like, the first, it's like 80s hip hop compared to like 2000s hip hop, where it's just like, yeah, of course the Sugar Hill Gang is talking about nothing and it's all goofy because like they're figuring out what the hell this is, and if they didn't do that, we couldn't do what we do now, and it's
paving
and
the
it's
way.
so it's not even
using violence and ways of French cinema.
And depravity.
So it's like you kind of get that pass, but then it's also like it doesn't necessarily make those progenitors better. It's like
I'm not saying
if you were to stack it up, it'd be like that 11-year-old would smoke this 15th century inventor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we're putting this up against like, which we're gonna do an episode on martyrs. We've already talked about this.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Yeah,
it's
for
happening.
Sure.
But putting it up against martyrs for sure. Martyrs is a stronger film through and through. It is definitely there's a lot like there's less plot.
I have like a big family, and something that I say sometimes, like my older brothers will be like, you know, oh, back in the day, like I had to get a job when I was 14, and I'm just like, yeah, bro, you were born first, I was born fifth. I don't know what to tell you. You know, and so it's kind of like that, where it's just like, yeah, you know, They had to deal with that for me to be where I am, and I appreciate the hell out of it. And had I been born first, I would have done it too.
I love it, dude. Okay, so you had an idea. We have the last like 5 minutes, so let's quickly go through. You said, what was it? you want to go through each episode and say, will we survive? How did we survive? How long would we last? What was
we were kind of going back and forth in terms of like, would you win a fight against this thing, whatever it is? Or like, would you survive? And you know, I gotta say.
So what's your answer?
I gotta say, because if it was real life for me, it'd be Danny G. Trying to kill me because he's in love with me, and you know,
extremely talented producer and other half.
He's kind of squirrely. I feel like if he got the drop on me, I'd be bound and gagged in a van. So
absolutely. But then you'd give you the means to your escape also.
Absolutely, exactly. He hands you the knife.
That's the most confused. Yeah. Like, I stab you.
Exactly. And what about you, Evelyn? How do you think you'd fare against Marie and her fucking?
I feel like
psycho shit.
At first, definitely, probably would have gotten the drop on me. Like, the family's dying either way. But like,
so they're gone.
I feel like in those moments when she was like, "We should hide from him right now," I'd be like, "Bitch." I'm just like,
the fuck?
Like, she wouldn't have lasted quite that long without getting stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, maybe not even running away from her. Just finish stabbing her.
She
stabbed her twice, and then she ran away into the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
yeah.
If your friend murders your family, I feel like you'd have more rage power.
I mean, yeah, you got you're
like,
carte blanche to do whatever
now.
too, for sure.
Yeah.
I think for me, the drop thing definitely helped. I mean, first of all, very flattering that someone, would find me that attractive.
when your friends,
tell me you love me.
Tell me you love me.
When you're so gay for your friend, their entire family has to die. Like, you don't understand. You don't understand. I'm really gay for you.
Like,
your
get it.
4-year-old brother is really standing between us right now.
Dude, yeah, exactly. What the fuck?
Yes.
Need him out of the way pronto.
So, yeah, like, I don't know. I can definitely say I would have probably made it up to the gas station scene. And, like, the gas station would probably be where, like, shit went wrong. Because, like, getting out of that and, like, running quickly, doing all that stealthy shit. Like, I don't know if I could ever outrun a killer like that. You know what I mean? But, like, if we're thinking purely fantastical, you know what I mean?
I realized now it was thinking, like, from Alex's point of view. Then you said that, which is more from Marie's point of view. So it's like, would you kill yourself?
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, kind of just, but just like in a fantasy point of view. You know what I mean? Like, if we're looking at it from another lens.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know. I don't think I'm lasting very long in this fucking scenario either way. It's just such a fucked up thing that, like, yeah, your best friend fucking murders your family and then wants to fuck you.
But well, that's the thing. Like, comparing ourselves to, well, first of all, we don't know that Alex is the main character or the protagonist anyway until quite late on, and also she does survive.
That's true.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean,
I guess we would
all
too.
all in all, I think we felt very. Again, I think even if it wasn't the best movie, I think it was a fun movie to watch.
It's very.
I think
fun.
Overall, we can recommend it. We can say for sure, go watch this movie, get back to us, and let us know your thoughts, man.
Yeah.
We want crowd interaction, man. We want to hear from the audience as much as
Definitely.
We hope you guys want to hear from us.
Definitely. I think this is a pretty good place to wrap it up. But in this remaining minute, I think we should just make mention of the fact that they definitely took the first 2/3 of a Dean Koontz book and added a twist. But the book has a whole other third act that's only possible when the main character is not also the killer. But
exactly. So whatever.
It's a gray area.
It is a gray area, but we great artists borrow great. Was it good artists borrow, great artists steal type of shit?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're gonna end it here. You can find us on Instagram and all that. Hopefully, we're gonna have all these socials out by the time this drops. So
we're gonna be
Devil's
social.
Work Podcast. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Stay spooky.
That's right.
Stay safe out there.
Stay safe out there.
and do not masturbate at your friend's house, you fucking animal.
Try not to. Try not to.
The old college try.